So I bought my 2010 Corvette Grand Sport that you see back here a few years back, and I was actually able to find a great deal on it, but it's not always that sweet. Sure, the marketplace is how you find the best deals out there, but you gotta be careful because sometimes you can get screwed worse than IKEA furniture. Yeah, you know that crappy desk you got sitting on the corner? The one with misaligned holes and shit? That could be you. Your holes could be misaligned. When I bought my Corvette a few years back, I knew what to look for because obviously it wasn't my first time buying a used car. I've been buying cars throughout my whole teens, but before you accuse me of being a spoiled brat, these were piece of shit cars. Even if people paid you to drive them, you wouldn't want to drive them. Trash. But man, I miss those cars. Okay, this might sound a little crazy, but I was pretty much like the Dominic Toretto from Wish. So as a result, I got a lot of experience buying cars, and I'm not saying this to gobble my own glizzy. These are just the facts, man. These are just the facts. I've dealt with a lot of shady people. I know all the lies and shit people would do to keep you from finding out shit they don't want you to find out. But I also know how to find the best deals. You can ask anybody around me, and I probably help them find their cars. And I want to help you because I don't want you to buy a C6 that shreds you instead of shredding tires. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over all the red flags that you should look out for when buying a C6 Corvette. I just finished drinking my coffee, so I look kind of pregnant right now, but I promise you it's not yours. So red flag number one, wrong paperwork. And you may think I'm talking about the seller's legal status, but that's not the case. So before even showing up, you wanna ask them these questions. Is the title clean? Because a lot of times they won't tell you it might be salvaged. Do you have the title in hand? Make sure they're not waiting for your money to pay it off to then give you the title. That's a pain in the ass. You wanna make sure the title is under their name, because if it's not, if it's under their cousin, their wife, chances are they never register the car under their name, which means that when you try to register it, you're gonna be stuck paying some crazy back fees. And there's nothing worse than paying for back fees. Except when you buy a latte and it tastes like chocolate milk, man, that shit fucking hurts. Red flag number two, dirty smog. A dirty smog is cool when you do it, but not when other people do it to you. It's almost like speeding. So let's say one day you're bumping some ESTG, you're going crazy, the black Air Force activity just takes over you. You don't give a damn, you're just going in and out of traffic, going about 140. I've done this in Forza, don't get the wrong idea. You don't care about anybody else, but then the next day, you're cruising, you're chilling, maybe bumping some Isaiah Rashad, you know, chill vibe. And then you see this crazy ass scat pack just driving reckless as fuck. And you're like, man, fuck that guy and his scat pack. I hope those 34% interest payments catch up to that motherfucker. What was he talking about? Oh shit, yeah, the smog. So if you're in a state like California, make sure you ask them if it passes legally. They might just give you a smog and tell you it's good, but you don't know how they got the smog. You don't know what they had to do. You wanna make sure those knees ain't scraped. You wanna make sure the paperwork is solid and the car's gonna pass with no issues. Sorry, I had to take a little break. My throat hurts a little bit. Oh, did I tell you I just smogged my Integra too? Red flag number three, cleared monitors. So what this means is before you buy your Corvette, you want to make sure you plug in an OBD2 reader. It doesn't have any codes. You also want to make sure the monitors are completed, which means the car ran a full system test, didn't notice any issues. If you see no codes and you see all the monitors are incomplete, that means that that seller cleared all the codes right before you showed up. And don't fall for the trick where they say, oh, I just disconnected my battery or the battery died. If the person seems legit, just tell them to drive it, come back when all the monitors are completed, and you're gonna be good. If everything is too squeaky clean, it's kind of suspicious. Now, imagine this, bro, picture this. Would you believe it if a baddie tells you were her first after she just had your toes throwing up gang signs? She had you out here repping for Grove Street, talking about a clean record, bro. What the fuck is that? You know that's BS. Red flag number four, mods. And not just any mods, I'm talking about illegal mods. If you're in California, chances are any sort of mod is gonna be illegal. Now, it's cool because most of our cars aren't legal. Oh shit, did I say that too loud? But the problem is, when you're trying to buy a clean car, you want it to be clean. You don't wanna buy a hot one. And there's a lot of people with Corvettes modifying them. And actually, you don't have to modify your Corvette for it to be beautiful. They don't need to change their appearance just to satisfy me. I think they're beautiful as they are. But I actually don't have a problem if they've been modified also, because it makes it so much more fun. But before you start modifying and dropping stacks of money, think about this for a second. If you ever get rid of her, somebody else is gonna enjoy those mods for free with the money that you paid. So red flag number five, no New Balancer. If the seller doesn't have an untainted set of white New Balancers, chances are he hasn't replaced the harmonic balancer on his Corvette, which is pretty important because especially if it's past 50,000 miles, that balancer is coming up. It's coming up fast and hard, faster than our channel on YouTube. We up next. But here's the thing, man, even if they said they replaced it, you want to double check their work, and you always want to double check people's work. I should have double checked their work at the drive-thru. It would have saved me the extra trip to go to the next coffee shop. Man, I'm still so mad about it. Red flag number 6, nasty fluids. And it's not what you think. I'm not talking about the stains on my headliner or on my carpet. I'm talking about lubrication. Well, that doesn't make it any better, right? Before you buy the car, make sure all the fluids have been replaced as common maintenance. If they haven't performed the basic maintenance, chances are they never took care of the car to begin with, which is a big red flag. Here's a good question you can ask them. You can ask them where they got those fluids replaced. And right away, they should tell you the name of a shop. But if they say that they did it themselves, they should be able to tell you what type of fluids they put in it. And if they can't answer those questions, chances are the oil is going to be darker than an espresso shot, like the one I had to buy to add to my coffee so it actually tastes like something. Red flag number 7, big gaps. And get your mind out of the gutter, bro. Not every joke here at Pushing Gears is sexual. What do you think this is, bro? When you're racing somebody, you want to leave the biggest gap possible. If you're not making your ops consider selling their cars, you're not doing it big enough, my guy. You gotta step it up. But actually, that's not red flag number 7. Red flag number 7, I'm talking about big body gaps. So when you first look at the car, walk around it, make sure the panels line up nice and smooth. If the gap is a little too big, maybe that thing was an accident. And you don't want to buy a car that's been in an accident, especially if they don't let you know, because as far as you know, it can have structural damage underneath the car, because most of it is fiberglass, so it's so easy to push into it and damage something like the frame, especially if you have a C6 with aluminum frame. Red flag number 8, weird noises. Now, on the last video, I talked about the time where I stayed at the Red Roof Inn Motel and how I got PTSD from that. I was so traumatized. There was so much clapping going on, man. Do you remember the final battle from Stomp the Yard? I was pretty much it. I think the neighbor next door might have been this famous guy. I think his name was Johnny Sins, and I can't remember why he was famous. I think this guy might have been a famous plumber or something, because he was laying pipe all night. And now, I'm not telling you to be a creep, but you definitely want to listen for noises. Make sure to go and see it when it's cold, let it warm up, and be aware something the seller is going to tell you. Oh, it only makes the noise when it's cold. Like, bitch, the noise is not supposed to be there at all. As far as I know, it could be a valve issue, worn out piston rings, and you don't want that smoke. Trust me, you don't want it. Now, red flag number 9, incontinence. So even though a lot of Corvette owners are boomers, and they can't keep the fluids in, that doesn't mean that the Corvette should be like that. Oh man, I gotta keep roasting the boomers. I mean, I be roasting the boomers too much, but I actually gotta stop. It's getting out of hand. You might be a boomer, who knows? And if you are a boomer, I do apologize and I appreciate you for watching. I just hope my videos don't give you a heart attack one of these days. So don't forget to share this video with your grandson, because they're gonna be next in line. They're gonna inherit that Corvette from you. You definitely don't wanna buy a Corvette that's leaking any sort of fluid, replacing any leaking gasket or seal in this car. It's a huge freaking job that you most likely can't do on your own. And don't fall for this trick. The seller's gonna tell you it's gonna be the valve cover gasket. I can change a valve cover gasket in this car one-handed, stepping on Legos, and it's only gonna take me like 3 minutes. If it was really a valve cover gasket, they would have fixed it, trust me. Don't fall for that. Let's wrap it up, chats. Red flag number 10, the seller is a hustler. So if at any point during the conversation, the seller tells you he's a hustler, in reality, he's just a finesser. You gotta know how to read in between the lines of what this person is gonna tell you, because they're gonna be lying about a lot of things. You gotta know how to be in between the lines, because at the end of the day, you're gonna be parking this wide body Corvette in downtown, and you gotta stay in between those lines in front of a lot of people. Now, but in all seriousness, man, you gotta know how to analyze what this person's gonna tell you, because they may say something like, the car's never had any problems. I've never had to do anything to the car. But if the car has more than 70,000 miles, car's not forever. Don't be a dumbass. Shit breaks, especially at that mileage on a sports car. And there's nothing wrong with that, as long as they didn't ignore the problem. Because now, if they did ignore the problems, when you buy the car, as soon as you buy it, shit's gonna break on you. And that's exactly what happened to me when I bought this car. And to this day, shit just keeps on breaking. So that was the last red flag. I wanted to make this video like an actual inspection on how to buy a Corvette, but that was gonna be too difficult for your lizard brain to process. I know your attention span's pretty short, so I came up with this idea on how to make it interesting. So what I want you to do is, on the comments, drop down some things that people should actually know and be aware of when buying a Corvette. Because at the end of the day, this is a community of elite drivers saying we like to help each other out. And I got a ton of these red flags. So if you want to see another video like this, let me know in the comments. If you actually want a full detailed inspection video, I'll do that as well. You let me know. All right, my guy, see you next week.